welcome you on behalf of 61st AICOG 2018 conducted at Bhubaneswar. You're watching this interview on AICOG TV, brought to you by therightdoctors.com. With me today is Professor Geeta Ganguly Mukherjee. Ma'am is an ex-professor and head of the Department of OBG at RG Kar Medical College. Currently, she is a consultant at Institute of Reproductive Medicine at Kolkata. So, ma'am, you have chosen a topic of genital tuberculosis. You have written a lot of books. How come you got this idea of writing a book on genital tuberculosis?
I am working now at present in infertility cases, and I found many cases where I got that the doctors are not very aware of the genital tuberculosis.
Right.
But some I tell you one or two history. One MD doctor, she came for IVF, failed twice. Still is not suspected anything, or they have not did anything. She came to another doctor who took the detailed history and found that her grandmother died of genital tuberculosis. That means there is a history of tuberculosis in their family. That doctor was investigated and found the suffering from genital tuberculosis. She was treated for that, and then her IVF was successful. Like that, even an MD doctor, if he cannot suspect genital tuberculosis in infertility, it's really other doctor, they don't do this thing.
Absolutely.
Very
Especially
important.
when you speak about the Indian context.
Yes.
Tuberculosis is such a common problem today. Ma'am, why do you think infertility is so common when you speak about genital tuberculosis?
Yes, it's very important. Tuberculosis is really sometimes causes genital tuberculosis. It can cause tuberculosis anywhere in the body, including genital organ, that is your tube, endometrium, ovaries, all these things they can do. And if it is tube, there is block tube. If the endometrium, there is synechium formation there. So there can be tuberculosis, and infertility is very common. Infertility is about 1% to 10% due to genital tuberculosis.
Right.
And what's happened in USA, it is very less than 1.
Absolutely.
But
ma'am.
in our it is more than that.
It is very
And if you think of the this thing, tubal cause of infertility, then it is much more,
Yes,
about 30-40%. So this is very important, genital tuberculosis. That's why, as I was working in the infertility clinic, I got the idea of writing the book, on genital tuberculosis. Really, it was not very easy to write.
I think your book itself will be a very welcome addition to all the doctors practicing IVF specialists for their armamentarium to know the management strategies, ma'am.
This is very important.
But what do you think the steps we can take to prevent the precautions to prevent damage to the reproductive organs, ma'am?
Tuberculosis is very common in our country.
Absolutely, ma'am.
TB, not say genital TB. And genital TB due to the general TB. TB as a whole in the society. So what's happened? If we don't be very aware of the tuberculosis, we cannot prevent genital tuberculosis. And if it is genital tuberculosis, is endometrial damage is there, ovarian damage is there. So what's happened? They become really, sometimes it is, we cannot do anything. We cannot do anything. That's why. So we must be, everybody in the society must be aware of this tuberculosis as a whole. So that, because tuberculosis is because of the, anemia, malnutrition, all these things.
Right.
So if we can take care of this thing, TB will be less. We have to prevent TB as a whole, starting from the policymaker, then doctors, investigators, everybody should take this thing. And another thing I tell you, we doctors, as I told you early, we doctors must be aware of genital tuberculosis. It is sometimes difficult to diagnose genital tuberculosis.
Right, ma'am.
There is dilemma in, but we have to think of genital tuberculosis. Only then we can take them early. Otherwise, we cannot do. So, the doctors must be tuberculosis minded, so that they can suspect tuberculosis early, so that it can be prevented early, and only then we can treat genital tuberculosis.
Right,
And
ma'am.
another thing I can tell you, that if we can treat genital tuberculosis early, result is good, but if not, is not good. That is very, very important. We must, I want to say that in the medical colleges and other places, we must be aware of this thing. Only then we can prevent this thing. And nowadays, this is very important. Otherwise, we have to do surrogacy and all these things,
Yes.
because everything is disturbed. We cannot do anything else.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your views and opinions, ma'am. We look forward to meet you again, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.